Well, good morning, and welcome to this week's Monday Motivation. The motivation that's designed specifically for your morning, your Monday, and your week. And who doesn't need a little bit of way or a buffer to self-motivate themselves, especially on a Monday morning? Now, why do I even make these videos, and why and what's kind of like important about them, I guess. So one of the things that I find, not only in my own life, but when I'm working with clients, whether they're in a corporate setting actually, or whether in a business setting, is that a lot of them are driven, a lot of you are driven, a lot of you are spinning lots of plates, a lot of you have lots of things to do. And one of the most helpful things we can do for ourselves is to be able to motivate ourselves when we need to. Not push, but motivate. And one of the things that I've found over the years is that many of us will push ourselves beyond what's really acceptable. If you think about this, if you were in a very busy start of the week, maybe you've got the week layout ahead of you and you're seeing all the moving parts, all the different things you've got to do. And just think for a moment, you were a friend watching another friend, you're a friend of somebody watching another friend having to navigate their week and hearing maybe how they're speaking to themselves as they do it. Maybe hearing I'm so stupid, I wish I had done that, why did I take this on, and all of those sorts of those sorts of inner dialogues that we have with ourselves. If you could hear somebody speaking to a dear friend of yours like that, I'm sure you would tell them to be quiet. I'm sure you'd tell them to pipe down. I'm sure you'd tell them, like, don't talk to them like that. So one of the reasons why these motivations are so important, and I hear this back from you, one of the reasons why these are so important for so many of you is because this gives you a way to move forward without pushing through, and in a way to sort out your week. And for some of you, you've even told me you've come back on a Wednesday and watched this, or a bit later on, and yet you've still found the nuggets in here helpful. And the other great thing is these aren't time bound. So I am just going to make sure, because the tech has been an interesting one recently, I'm just going to make sure everything is doing what it should. Let's just see. And if you are watching and you're able to see me and hear me, will you just give me a thumbs up or a love heart so that I know that everything is doing what it's supposed to be doing? Okay, I'm just going to post this now and hope hope that it's doing what it's meant to be doing. Okay, enough about that. If you're watching this on the replay, by all means, still feel free to comment below, add your thoughts, your insights, what you're going to do differently next time. And remember, do share this, because you never know who of your Facebook friends might need to hear this message today. So over the last, since the beginning of this month actually, so over the last couple of weeks, I have specifically chosen for June to up-level certain areas of my life and of my business, because I am a business owner. And the way I've chosen to do that is by really pouring into myself in terms of education. Sometimes it's education, sometimes it's a refresher, other times it's going to be kind of ways to do things better. So this is going to be a culmination, if you like, of learning, planning and everything else. So I'm already through. I've done 3 things so far. I had a business weekend retreat. This weekend I was on the wonderful Cassandra Austin McDonald's self-care weekend and self-love weekend, which was great. And I also took 2 days to spend with a mentor of mine working close up and personal, specifically on a very specific area of my business. And why do I share that? I share that because many years ago I came across the expression, there is no such thing as failure, only feedback. So, for example, just now I went a little quiet. I checked on my second phone, not because I was beating myself up, not because I was wondering how many gazillion trillion people are watching or liking this video, but more importantly, because I wanted to see, like, something looked strange on my screen. Not a failure, feedback, something isn't working properly. So I put that into my feedback loop and had another way to very quickly check what was going on. So in life, we come across all of these different opportunities and examples, and I really feel like we should really start to see them as opportunities. Should be in, my subjective thoughts. But here's what I find doesn't work for people. Let me take a sip of my tea. What doesn't work for you is when you look at something, maybe don't see the results that you thought you would get or thought you would have, and then change it into being, well, in that case, I'm awful. Let me give you an example. One of the things I hear many of the clients that I get to work with closely anyway, one of the things I hear them say, especially even before we've started working together, we'll be having a call, exploring kind of what's going on for them, seeing if it's a great fit to have that, do that piece of work. And they'll say something or a version of, I should have nailed this by now. Or at my age, you would have thought I would have reached X level. Or, you would think that with the, amount of experience I've had that I would have been, picked up by blah, blah, blah. Or something like, well, I've been working for this company for X amount of time. You would have thought that I would be at this position by now. There's normally some sort of feeling that they're not further enough along, they're not doing enough, they're not known enough, not enough people know of their work, for you entrepreneurs, all of these sorts of different things. And one of the things that I would say is before many people get the clarity of what they can do about it, they'll go to a place of beating themselves up. So today I wanted to share some very quick tips with you about how to navigate this. And I say quick tips because, as many of you who watch these regularly will know, Monday is my coaching day. It's the day I coach my private clients, and they will get started in minutes, not hours. I'll go all through the day and I'll be coaching those people privately on the very many different areas that they want to be coached on. Things like inner confidence, to do with visibility and putting themselves out there. Things like being, a bit more kind of influential, I guess, when they do videos or Facebook Lives. Things like making the sort of impact they want to make because they're people helping people and they want to do things that are life-changing, so put themselves out there more. I have authors who have written books and want to make sure that they go into more people's hands. I have coaches who want to create a positive ripple effect. I've even got people who work with businesses to help, their designs and things like that. So a whole range of different things. And what I'm going to invite you to do is I'm going to invite you to look today at an area where you either feel that you feel disappointed, I think is probably the best emotion. An area where you either feel disappointed, an area where, sorry, just a squirrel distracted me hopping around outside the window. An area where you either feel disappointed, an area where you find yourself saying, I wish I had. Now that could be, I wish I'd started doing this sooner because then this would have happened or that would have happened or something else. So an area where you find yourself, wishing that something had been different. And start with that. Now, as I said that, for some of you, a random, seemingly random thought might have come to mind. And if that was you, pay attention to whatever that random thought was, make a note of it and look at that. So whatever that thing was that just came up for you, where you feel almost like regret, you wish that you had, you've been struggling and kind of tolerating and struggling with this for a long time. And look at like the kind of like look at it as if it was separately away from you. So imagine you've got this thing, this memory, stick it on the wall in front of you and just look at it. And look at it in a non-subjective way. Look at it and say to yourself, what is it about that particular era? So one of the most common things people say is, I should be further along than this right now. So stick that on a wall, have a look at it, and ask yourself this question. Like, look at it and say, so what is this wish, desire, regret trying to tell me? What is it trying to show me? What is it trying to tell me? And make a note, have pen and paper ready, make a note of what comes up. It won't be, oh, well, you're silly, you should have been doing this for years, you should have been doing this a long time ago. It will, in fact, give you some insights as to what you can do to move forward, move ahead with that. It could be an action that you need to take. It could be something that you might want to learn. It might be something that you want to do. It might be you did what you could, with the knowledge that you had at that point. But it will give you some sort of insights, and those insights will be different for everybody. I can't tell you what the answer is, and there is no right or wrong. But make a note of it, write it down. And then you will have like a list, a checklist, if you like, of the things that are in front of you. Now, if this resonates with you as you watch this, as I say, regardless of whether you're watching this live or on the replay, just give me a little kind of like thumbs up or a love heart emoji. As I do that, surrounded by flowers. I've got lots of flowers around me. I've brought the garden inside while I've been going a lot outside in the sun. So once you've started to have a look at that, it gives you some tangible things to move forward with. And as I say, this could be different for everybody. But one thing that I would say is, if you notice that what it's been trying to show you has been happening for a long time and you've been putting up with it, you've been tolerating it, then send me a message here wherever you're watching this video, whether it's Facebook Live, whether it's as a Facebook replay, whether even it's on YouTube or somewhere else across social media. Send me a message because you can actually book a call with me, not one of my coaches, but with me, to be able to discuss like what's been going on for you and the potential of what we can do together to move forward. I don't have many spaces for private clients, I'll tell you that up front, and I will be looking at putting out some group stuff. If your issue is around visibility, especially if it's professional visibility, you're a freelancer, you're an author, you're a one-man band business or something like that, I will have a 3-day event coming up in September. I tell you now, so I can give you plenty of notice. It staggers a bit of the week and a bit of the weekend. So it'll be Thursday, Friday and Saturday. So you've still got a day of your weekend and you've got plenty of your week to be able to still get on with your work. If you would like an exclusive, like early pre-sale ticket to that, then by all means send me a message wherever you're seeing this video. Send me a private message, I can send you the link to book. And it will be namely being about how to boost your visibility, whether you're in or out of lockdown. We are actually going to be using a slightly different format to some of my previous 3-day events. So if you have been to any of my 3-day events before, there's going to be a few more kind of action pieces. So as you go through, not only will I be showing you how to do something, you'll get the opportunity to go off, not only discuss it with other people, but to do it as well. So that's what I wanted to say about that. But most importantly, I want you to think about your week this week. Have a look at maybe what you are more worried about doing or what's helping you to feel overwhelmed in the week. And remember, there is no such thing as failure, only feedback. Do the exercise that I've talked about in this video. If you haven't seen it or you've missed it, rewind, go back and have a look. I give you some context to it as well. Go and do that exercise and let me know how you get on. I always like to know how you use these Monday motivations, how you use these tips, and I will see you for the next Monday motivation this time next week. Bye for now.